Spidey, isn't Marvel's new Pizzazz magazine fantastic?
Fantastic, but not perfect.
But Pizzazz has the lowdown on Jaws, too, and more Sean Cassidy picks than his mother. It's sensational.
Sensational, but not perfect.
How about Pizzazz's Goofy Guide to TV? It's wild look at sci-fi movies. It's games, puzzles, comics. What could be more perfect?
Me on the cover, not the Hulk.
Pizzazz, the almost perfect new monthly from the off-the-wall gang at Marvel Comics.
My volunteer fireman friends here have volunteered to take the Pepsi challenge. Okay, now I want you to tell me which one you chose.
Pepsi Cola.
On a 1 to 10 scale, what would you rate the taste of Pepsi?
About a 9.5.
12.
8 or 9. I don't know. I've never had a 10 yet.
You know, in tests like these nationwide, more people preferred the taste of Pepsi over Coca-Cola.
That's a good vintage.
Take the Pepsi challenge. Let your taste decide. Right, guys?
Right!
Don't touch me.
Ever wonder what happens when you click on that little join button and become a super fan of the channel? Well, the thing that you might notice right away is that I do my best to prioritize your comments and respond to them first. It's the very least that I can do. And if you stick around for a while, you'll probably also discover the channel member updates. These are exclusive videos that I do 2 to 3 times a month. You know, I gave away a bunch of Remind magazines during the last one. And we have exclusive live streams from time to time. Not every month, but at least a couple of times each quarter. But more than anything else, you have my total appreciation. I know it's only a couple of bucks, but it takes effort to click on that join button and express your support in that unique way.
The following is for mature audiences. It's Junkie. I'm Tina Louise, and I've loved Junkie since I was a kid. Only now I know why. Junkie's built for grown-up tastes, too. Not thin and flat. It's Thicora candy. And Thicora is more than the way Chunky looks. Thicora is the way Chunky tastes. A grown-up shape with deep, rich chocolate flavor. For mature audiences of any age, Chunky tastes Thicora.
The Livestream Code and Rating Administration has rated this online event PG. All ages admitted. Please be kind and stay on topic.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Good Stuff Live. My name is Dave Sundstrom, self-proclaimed pop culture historian, and you have found, well, the live stream where we talk about music, movies, and let's be honest, mostly television from decades gone by. So super excited to be with you all tonight. Tonight we're going to talk about forgotten TV shows. And I am really excited to see which forgotten shows you haven't forgotten. So I'm going to be asking you all about that in just a little bit. But before I do anything, I've got to take care of my executive producers. My good friend Lance Chaffin and Kevin Connor. They hooked me up this evening with Diet Cokes, and so for that I am truly grateful. Go ahead and get that on the screen here. There they are. Lance Chaffin and Kevin Connor, thank you so much for your super chats ahead of today's live stream. That made you executive producers tonight, so truly appreciate you. And you know, I got to find a way to say thank you. I think I'm going to do it's Wednesday. I better go with Wednesday. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Kevin. Your support is truly appreciated. All right, so let me get some housekeeping stuff out of the way first. Tonight, we will be giving away not one, but 2 copies of Retro Fan Magazine. Now, folks, it could be this issue, number 26, which is the May 2023 issue, or it might be the July 2023 issue, which has number 27, which has Captain Kangaroo on the cover, among other wonderful individuals. So I'm not sure which one it's going to be. I always leave that up to my friend John Morrow over at Tomorrow's Publishing. But yeah, we're going to give away a couple copies, and I think you're going to love it. I have really been enjoying issue number 26 so far. And I have to say to Tomorrow's Publishing, thank you so much for your partnership. They don't necessarily sponsor the live stream in that they're not, paying anything to be on the live stream or to have me say things about them. It's more of a partnership, or even better said, maybe a friendship that I've cultivated with Tomorrow's Publishing. And because of that, they allow me to give away copies of the magazine. And when you get a copy of Retro Fan, you're going to see why it's so special. It's really a premium magazine. It's on premium paper. The printing is just exquisite, and the articles are even better. So enough said about that. Couple copies. So we'll be doing 2 drawings tonight. Tomorrow, well, those of you that are super friends, super fans, or even general supporters of the channel members, you have been watching this video. It will debut tomorrow sometime. Not sure exactly when I'm going to push the publish button and make it go live on YouTube. But channel members have been watching it today, and the feedback so far has been pretty good. I have been kind of feeling just really nostalgic for the whole Real People TV show. Not necessarily a forgotten television show, but certainly one that really doesn't seem like it's much of a large part of the pop culture zeitgeist these days. It seems to be kind of forgotten. And what a great cast that show had, along with Sarah Purcell. There was the great Skip Stevenson, Byron Allen, and let us not forget, well, Peter Billingsley was on it during the later seasons. He of A Christmas Story fame. But also the great Fred Willard was a contributor on that show. So Real People, great program. I'm sure many of you remember it, and I certainly have a lot of fond feelings towards that show. Additionally, again, channel members, heads up, this Sunday, we'll be doing the monthly exclusive live stream for all of you. So it's a way that I say thank you to each one of you for your support. Now, that is for super fans and super friends. So anybody that's paying more than $2 a month, hopefully you'll be able to join me on Sunday and we can visit a little bit. Who knows what we'll talk about? I like to leave that one wide open and really talk about whatever you as channel members want to talk about. So I think that's all of my housekeeping for the day. So I thought, you know what? I thought I'd ask a question. Instead of saying just hello to folks today, I thought I'd ask, maybe you could all tell me, and in some cases I know the answers to this question, but many of you I don't. Where are you from? So where are you dialing in from tonight, folks? Dialing. I know you're not dialing, but that's a question. I'd love to hear. Let's see what kind of audience we have and where we're located geographically. So I'm going to, instead of going to the very top, I'm going to start right here, and I'm going to start highlighting people like channel member Angela McCardle, who is from Ashland, Maine. So you're right. Oh, that's I was thinking of Thresh Pondo. He's in Massachusetts, but you're back east. That's awesome. David Rasmussen, awesome name, Dave. Awesome name. Is from Minnesota, Red Wing, Minnesota. Great to have you here, Dave. My friend Sin City Jim says, Vegas, baby. Makes a lot of sense given your handle. John Chapanic is out there in Buffalo, New York. Old Farm Show makes sense. Indiana. Yes, I knew you were Florida, Tracy, but I did not know where in Florida. So Tallahassee, awesome. Gary Carpenter, welcome to the live stream. He's in North Carolina. Cindy D is in Kansas, awesome. And Janie Yost is in Mount Vernon, Washington. Custom God is in Portland, Oregon. My dear friend, who is going to, I need to get him back on the live stream again in the not too distant future. Scott Barnes is from Utah. He doesn't want me to get any more specific than that. I won't. Is from Utah. Thanks so much for joining tonight, Scott. It's always great to see you in the chat. Jim Backus is from Rosenke, Texas. And let's see. Yeah, it's going to be a busy day on Sunday with all sorts of live streams, huh, Lance? Karen Lee Maloney is from Orange County, California. And Superfan, channel member Superplex is from Puerto Rico. And I know that my friend Danny Staten is from South Carolina. That's awesome. Let's see. Channel member Lance Chaffin, Kansas City. Kenneth Wilkinson is from Warwick, Rhode Island. David Thomas, Bakersfield, CA. Great. Lamont is in Nevada right now, but originally from Southern California and crossing the doors from Pala, California. My friend Pat McCormick, I know where he's from. He's from California. Oh, man, I am so excited about that, Pat. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. Man, how cool would that be to see my friend Pat McCormick play live? One of these days. It's a dream. All right. Let's see. Alberto Morales is from Central Florida, and Kim Ellis is from Fort Worth, Texas. Gary, you say we're neighbors. Are you here in Utah? I don't remember that. I should, because you're always part of my live streams and everything. But remind me, my friend. Remind me. Alo Duarte is from along the mighty Hudson, halfway between Albany and New York City, in Ulster Park, New York. And yes, Pat McCormick, Aptos, California. Let's see. The J Rocker, Ventura County, California. Thanks again, Lance. Let's see. Channel member and super friend John Collins says he's located somewhere they call the edge of Florida. Holton, Maine for Melissa Foster. Auburn Kim is in Auburn, Alabama. Makes sense. Channel member Dominic D, Tacoma, Washington. Matt Sweeney is in Michigan. Flynn Hire, 444 El Raya, Ohio. It's a Cleveland suburb. Thanks for clarifying. I would have had no clue. Channel member Mike D's in Linwood, Washington, just north of Seattle. You're up there by my son, who's in Seattle. My oldest son. Channel member Angela McArdle just says, hey, Melissa. Okay. You've already told me where you're from, Angela, and I've already forgotten. I'm going to have to go back. One of the things I love about my live streams is going back and rewatching them and looking at the chat really intently afterwards. Mark Burchett. Yes, I know Mark's a fellow Utah. He's out there in Pleasant Grove, Utah. Gary says he'd tell me the town, but I've never heard of it. Well, if it's in Utah, I probably have. Let's see. And my friend Barry King, welcome to the live stream, is from Kennesaw, Georgia. And oops, I almost skipped Jerry Gillespie, who's in New York City. I knew that. Let's see what else we got. Johnny Farrington, Kernersville, North Carolina. Oh, cool. And, of course, I know that you're from Utah as well, Emily. Great to have you with us. Let's see. Tom Lemery, Central New York. Very cool. And let's see. I think I've pretty much gotten most everybody. Karen Lester, welcome to the live stream. Seattle, Washington. Poor audio. No. Anyone else having poor audio? Let me know if you are. We'll see if, I don't know what I'd do now, but I would like to know anyway. John Bernstein wants to know if this is where to find the Starland Vocal Band Variety Show. Well, now that is a forgotten show from the 70s. A midsummer replacement. right after their big hit Afternoon Delight. Loved it, and it was gone before we knew it. Channel member Emily Miller, hello, good to have you with us. Everybody's telling me where they're from. If you want to join in, if you don't, that's cool too. Let's see. Yeah, channel member Mike D says a surprising amount of people in the live stream tonight are from the Pacific Northwest. Very cool. And Emily Miller is in North Carolina. Awesome. Danny Hooley's in Georgia, an hour away from Savannah. And Bob S. is in Montana. Very cool. Let's see. Yes, I was thinking that today. It's about time for another Retropalooza. We gotta make that happen soon. Let's see. Crossing the Door wants to know if John Bernstein is Slim Goodbody. And Michelle Books is from Fort Wayne, Indiana. All right, I could do this all night. I could literally do this all night. It's so fun to see everybody and where they're from and say hello. But I'm going to stop here. And we're going to do things a little bit differently tonight. We're going to go in reverse order because I think we're going to end up talking about some of the shows that's in my little quiz for the evening. So because of that, let's go ahead and let's do the quiz. And then we'll do a giveaway, and then we'll talk about those shows as well as any other forgotten TV shows that you guys want to talk about. But I have gotten 12 pictures. All of them are from TV shows that I would say are relatively forgotten. Many of you may remember them. I hope you do. From the 70s. And in particular, I would say, I don't know if they're all from like 75 to 80, somewhere around there. There might be a 74 in there, but that's kind of when I started watching TV, and it's when it just kind of rings familiar to me. And so that's what we're doing here. So those are my hints. I'm going to share the images with you. And just like we always do in our chats and in our live streams, you can go ahead and put your answers in the chat if you want to, or just write them down on paper, lock them in your noggin, whatever works best for you. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to look at it and decide what your answer is, and then I'll give you the answer. So this should be fun. I'm excited to see how everybody does. And then after the third one, we have 12. So after four, 8, and then at the end, we'll see what everybody's scores are. Okay. So let me pull this up. Slides. I'm going to put the first image on already, and I'm going to get my timer up and running so we can, because I want to go through these relatively quickly so we have plenty of time to talk afterwards. So, first TV show. I'm not looking in the chat. Of course, I know the answer to all of these. Like I said, these were shows that I really liked and didn't last as long as I certainly wish they would have, and really have kind of fallen out of the pop culture zeitgeist. They seem to have been forgotten. And if you're thinking that this is Dallas, you are oh so very, very wrong. 6 seconds left. And Keith, I know there are some folks that are visually challenged. My apologies on this particular quiz. But we'll talk about all these shows, and I'm going to give the answer right now so that we can talk about them later as well. This is Patrick Duffy in The Man from Atlantis, which ran on NBC during the late 70s. All right, let's keep moving, folks. Moving to number 2. Now, holy cow, this is a fine-looking group of people. Let me start the timer up. And this was another show that just didn't last. I thought it was going to be a big hit. I really did. I thought this show was going to be a big hit. And thank you, Kevin. And it wasn't. So if you look at the cast, there's really not. I'm trying to remember the name of the actor that's on the far right there, just above the kid with the afro. But he's the only actor that I really remember doing anything post this show, which is the San Pedro Beach Bums. Anybody remember that show, sitcom that Aired on ABC, I think 1978, somewhere around there. Okay, let's go to the next one. This was a great show. Yes. That actor in the middle is Dak Rambo. I need to start the timer. Start the timer. Okay. Dak Rambo. And this show, well, I don't want to give any hints until we actually provide the answer. This is the third one. We'll do one more, and then we will go to scores. Again, my apologies to some of the channel members I know that have a difficulties visually. I will make it up to you by posting a quiz over on my TV Treasures channel that, of course, will have narration later in the week. This one is Sword of Justice. It ran on NBC for a season, and I really thought it was a great show. One more, and then we'll go to scores. This one's a good one, too. Oh, I'm going to give a hint on this one. This show, I think you need a hint on this one. Because this show actually was a retooling of another show from another network. So this show aired on NBC. And if you look at the cast, 3 of the individuals here in this picture were in that other show. And I believe they played the same characters, same names, everything. The show is called Who's Watching the Kids? It's a retooling of Blansky's Beauty. And you've got Scott Baio in here, Karen Kay, and Linda Goodfriend, all from Blansky's Beauties. Still Vegas Showgirls, but a real retooling of that show with, of course, Nancy Morgan's gone, as well as the guy that played Carmine. I'm always forgetting his name, but anyway. That's that. Let's see scores, folks. I'm desirous to see how folks are doing. These are tougher, for sure. Okay. Let me see some scores. I got to scroll down. We've had lots of stuff going on in the chat. Okay. C. White says, C. White 0224 says, enjoy your videos. Thank you so much. I really enjoy putting them together. So, and the kind words like that just keep me motivated, keep me going. Let's see. Custom God. I think that was the first score I saw. And then I lost it the minute I was 1 of 4. Channel member Superplex 1 of 4. This is tough, huh? Auburn Kim 1 of 4. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, of course, 4 for 4. Crossing the Door. We haven't had 5 yet. We'll say 0 for 4 for you. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyers is 1 of 3. Might be a little behind us here. Karen Lester 1 of 4. Let's see. Channel member Mike D, 1 of 4. Lamont Bradford, 2 of 4. Channel member John Collins, 0 for 4. I'm going to get some easier ones. There's some easier ones coming up, folks. About Morales, 1 of 4. But these truly are forgotten shows, right? Michelle Books, 1 of 4. Channel member Angela McCardle, 4 of 4. Cindy D, 2 for 4. Channel member Emily Miller, 1 of 4. Gary Carpenter, 1 of 4. Al Duarte, 1 of 4. Mark Burgett, 3 of 4. Karen Lee, 1 of 4. Scott Barnes, 1 of 4. Donald Duncan, welcome to the live stream, 1 of 4. Karen Lee Maloney, 1 of 4. Channel member Dominic D, 3 of 4. Sakina McMurrin, 3 of 3. Thanks for joining us. So good to have you here. Gary Carpenter, 1 of 4. Melissa Foster, 1 of 4. The J Rocker, 1 of 4. 420, 0 of 4. Media Archive Mike says none. This quiz has slain me so far. Laugh out loud. No, Dave, not Joni Loves Chachi. There's no Joni there. No Joni there. This was pre-Joni Loves Chachi. Tom Lemery, 1 of 4. Sin City Jim, 1 of 4. Pat McCormick, 1 of 4. Sam Nicholson, 0 so far. Funky for you for 2, 1 of 4. And I think I'm caught up. So let's keep rolling. Let's keep rolling. Let's keep going. Lots to talk about tonight. Number 5. Oh, let's start the timer. And I'll give you guys a hint. Saturday morning show. With, if you have a sharp eye there, a Star Trek alumnus. Really love this show. By the way, the actor there in right next to the Star Trek alumnus is the guy who rolls down his window and says, "Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?" I did not know that until years later. But yes, the actor who plays Jason of Star Command is the same guy who is desirous of Grey Poupon mustard. And that is James Doohan, of course. He of Star Trek fame. Great cast. Really love that show. And of course, the spin-off to that show, Space Academy. Or was it the other way around? I think Jason came first. Okay. Keep moving here. Number 6. Oh, okay. Mid-70s. If you notice there in the back, we've got good old Dick Van Patten there. And all the way over there on the right, Bernie Koppel. He of Love Boat fame. This was a really great show. Funny show that ran on ABC. Sadly, again, like all of these other shows, it lasted a season or less. And this was a retooling, of course, of the Robin Hood folklore. And it's a show called When Things Were Rotten. So I'm trying to think if it was Mel Brooks or Buck Henry that was involved in this, or both of them. I can't remember at the moment, but a really talented, not only cast, but a creative team. But yet another forgotten show. Number 7. Now, you guys may be tempted to answer this one quickly, and I'd think twice before you do, because you obviously, many of you recognize the individual there to the right. And be careful what your answer is here. Again, would it be a forgotten show if you were to give that answer? I'm trying to help all I can. That is good stuff. Thank you, Lance. Thank you, Kevin. I'm going to keep thanking you guys while I enjoy that beverage. Up time's over. A little show called David Cassidy Man Undercover. Ran on NBC for less than a season. 77, I want to say. 77, 78. One more. Oh, you guys know this one. Come on, you do. You know this one. Most of you do. It's, for being a show that a lot of folks, I'd say general population, don't remember. There are a lot of folks out there that do remember this show. As a matter of fact, a lot of folks have asked me to make a video about this show or any of the, actors that were in the show. And one of these days, I'm actually going to get around to it. Not today, though. Or not tomorrow. That's Sarah Purcell Day. We'll be talking more about real people. Okay. Holmes and Yo-Yo is the name of the show. I'm ready to get over to comments. Yep, that's John Shuck. Lots of folks are getting it. Holmes and Yo-Yo, or Yo-Yo and Holmes. Either way's right. Tell me how you're doing, folks. What's the score? What is the score? Pat McCormick, my friend, Golden Rage of TV. And by the way, you got to check out his podcast. So good. You can catch it on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, whatever. He just finished up the second season of just some absolutely fantastic interviews. And yeah, go check it out. But anyway, he was doing things. Yeah, he was doing things in the 70s and 80s, like being creative himself, making some really awesome music. All right, I'm looking for scores here. And, as long as I'm pitching folks that are in the chat and talking about them, Barry King's out there, part of the Retropalooza team. He has a wonderful Saturday morning show. Again, you can find BK on the Air on YouTube. And Danny Staten's out there reviewing comic books like a madman these days on a number of different channels. But start with the Daily Dan blog. Okay, scores. Lamont Bradford, 4 of 8. Channel member Mike D, 3 of 8. Custom God, 2 of 8. Yeah, you guys are getting some of these now. Al Oduardi, 2 of 8. Channel member Emily Miller, 1 of 8. Dave Thomas, 2 of 8. Auburn Kim, 2 of 2. Terrell's falling a little behind, but he is perfect so far. 7 of 7. Alberto Morales, 0. Angela McCardle, channel member Angela McCardle, 8 of 8. Well done. My friend Scott is struggling tonight. Well, you might have been doing more important things too. You might have been helping to protect the country, all sorts of things. No, you were young. You were too young before. That was before your time in the service. But I'm sure you were outside playing with the kids instead of watching TV like me, Scott. Dave Rasmussen, this just means you guys all had lives. 0 of 0. Channel member Tracy Roth Myers, 1 of 8. Karen Lee Maloney, 1 of 8. Karen Lester, 1 of 8. Channel member Superplex, 4 of 8. Tom Lemery, 2 of 8. Michelle Books, 2 of 8. The J Rocker, 1 of 8. Paluga says Act 2 Yankee 0. I don't know what that means, Donald, but hey, whatever works, my friend. Crossing the Door, 0 of 8. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, also known as Teb, is 8 of 8. Cindy D, 3 for 8. Melissa Foster, is 3 for 8 really bombing? I don't know if it is tonight. I do not know if it is. Gary Carpenter's 4 of 6. Channel member John Collins says, not the quiz for me. You're a little younger, John. I think these shows all aired. You were you weren't watching TV when these shows aired. So do not feel bad. 5 of 7 for Sakina McMurrin. Channel member Dominic D, 6 of 8. Yes, it did look like Robin Hood Men in Tights, didn't it? But it's not. Let's see. But I think it part of the inspiration for that show. Tim Andrews, 1 of 8. Let's see. BK says, Tim Andrews, another great pal. He's the man. I don't know Tim Andrews. Tim Andrews, great to have you here, though. And apparently, if Barry King says you're awesome, you are awesome. Oh, let's see. Funky for You 42 says 3 of 8. Big Goose Egg for 420 times 2. Pat says Tim Andrews as well. Who is this Tim Andrews fellow? Why is he so awesome? Scott Barnes joined the service in 82. Okay, no excuse for that. You were out having fun with your friends. Okay, I think we've got scores here. Let's finish this quiz up and let's talk some more. Well, we'll give away a magazine and then we'll talk some more. Next one. Come on. This one's easy, right? This one is easy. Let me throw the timer on. One of my favorite shows that I still do not understand how this show did not last longer than it did. Came out post Star Wars on NBC. In addition to having a wonderful cast, it had the Barnstable twins. And they played clones. Neither of them knew which one was the clone. Thank you, Lance and Kevin. All right, time's up. That is a show starring Richard Benjamin, Conrad Janis, and the Barnstable twins. It's Quark, called Quark on NBC again. And that one was from the creative mind of Buck Henry. All right, let's keep moving. Oh. Down there in the center is my buddy, Ike Eisenman. He and his friend Jonathan Rosen had me on their podcast, maybe 6 months ago. And what a treat it was for me to finally be able to get to know Jonathan more, who I'd known through Twitter, but then also get to visit with Ike Eisenman, who I had admired his work since he was a young man. Yeah, we're roughly the same age. And I certainly enjoyed him in shows like the Escape to Witch Mountain series, for one. All right, I didn't start a timer. Yeah, I'm not even going to let this thing run all the way to 30. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. We'll give you guys another 10 seconds here, and then I'm calling it good. And yes, that is Roddy McDowell in the very back. All right, Fantastic Voyage on NBC. That's a show that changed a lot over the course of the 10 episodes that aired, and it was another one of those shows. A lot of these shows are shows that the network did not have faith in, and they kept moving them around, preempting them, and they were never allowed to get the audience they needed. And this was a wonderful science fiction show about people get lost in the Bermuda Triangle. Okay, 2 more, I think. Oh, this is a good one, too. And so here's the hints. That is Paul Schaefer there with more hair than we're used to seeing him from the David Letterman show. And in the back there is Mr. Greg Evigan, pre BJ and the Bear, My Two Dads. This was a sitcom that aired on CBS. I think I've given way too many hints on this one. I love these shows, though. This is one of those sell your soul to the devil shows. It's called A Year at the Top. Two young men from Boise, Idaho want to make it big in the world of music and end up selling their soul to the son of Satan. Okay, one more, and then we'll get scores. Then we'll give away a magazine. Okay, I have done a video on this one, so I don't know what else to say other than let's start the timer. Those are some lovely ladies behind. I don't remember the name of the actor there, and I don't remember, well, of course, that's Connie Selica on the left, and Pat Klaus, who later on replaced Lauren Twies on The Love Boat. So, great cast. Short-lived show. I'll give you the network, CBS. Hour-long drama, comedy, kind of mixed type of deal called Flying High. All right, let's get final scores, folks. Let me take this off the screen, but yeah, Flying High. There we go. And let me go over here to comments. Get some final scores here. I think there's the first one. Nope. Custom God was first again, 3 of 12. Channel member Mike D, 6 of 12. Channel member Superplex, 4 of 12. Michelle Books, 4 of 12. Channel member Angela McCardle. This is impressive. This may be the top score for the evening, 11 of 12. Nope, sorry. Terrell Eugene Bellinger, 12 of 12. Currently Maloney, 1 of 12. Dave Thomas, 3 of 12. Lamont Bradford got 4. Tom got 4. Emily got 1. Cindy D got 4 for 10. Karen Lester got 1. Tom Lemery got 4. Melissa got 5. Auburn Kim got 2. Funky for You 42 got 5. Let's see. Ravenscroft, you may have dodged a bullet tonight, Ravenscroft 82. It was a tough night. But we were talking about forgotten TV shows, and true to my word, apparently many of you have forgotten those shows. Dave Rasmussen, 0, but enjoyed watching the show. Thanks for joining us, Dave. Channel member Dominic D, 9 of 12. Gary Carpenter, 10 of 12. Danny Staten, impressive, 11 of 12. Tom Space 0, a goose egg tonight. Scott Barnes got 1. Nicely done, Scott. And Al Oduardi got 2. Keith Risk got 0, but he just arrived. Catch it on the replay if you want a challenge. If you want a challenge. Pat says, oh, dear God, I should not have attempted this one. Let's see. Sakina, 7 of 11. John says, I did not do well with the quiz. However, I can unequivocally say that the May issue of the magazine that we're talking about tonight, Retro Fan, is wonderfully splendid. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. A wonderful article on Super Friends and so much more. Let's see. Michael Rochester says, Dave, you should do a video on Rhonda Bates, the queen of failed television shows. I will add that to my potential topics list. The quiz was a learning experience, says Media Archive Mike, 2 of 10. Penny just arrived, so that's a 0 so far. And channel member Dominic D throws out a compliment to Terrell Eugene Bellinger, saying, you're great at this. Indeed he is. Indeed he is. Let's see. I think that's it, scores-wise. So here's the deal. Let's give this magazine away. First of 2 tonight. What are we talking about? Well, if you arrived late, I can't guarantee that it's going to be this copy. This is a picture of the current issue. Just came out, May 2023 issue of Retro Fan. Oh, look at that. You got Daktari, Super Friends, Emma Pill, El Vampiro, and Mr. T. Can a magazine get any better than this? Now, listen, if you don't win the drawing, I've got a link to go and pick up a copy just by, it's in my description section. Like I said, these guys are great friends of the channel, super partners, and they certainly can use the world of print magazines is slowly slipping away from us. And so they can use all the support they can get. But today, they're giving away one for free. So let me go over to the giveaway tool. Let me go ahead and let's share a screen here so everybody can see it. Got to keep me honest, right? Keeping the live stream host honest is what we call this. Giveaway tool. There we go. What I'm looking for is hashtag retrofan in the chat. So normally I do hashtag retro. I don't know why I set this up for retrofan tonight, other than it's the full name of the magazine. So let's get your entries in there. I'm going to give folks 30 seconds to get them in. Find my little timer again, put it on the screen. And I'll enjoy, again, this delightful Diet Coke that my friends, Lance Chaffin and Kevin Connor, helped subsidize tonight. Oh, that's good. I know it's not good for you, but it sure is good. All right, we got 20 some odd entries in there, and don't worry, if you didn't get it in this time, there'll be another drawing in just a little bit. Let me go ahead and click on the draw button here. Let's see who is our first winner of the evening. Who's it going to be? Pat McCormick. How awesome is that? Well, that is very cool, Pat. Congratulations. I don't know if I do have your address. I should. I can probably dig it up, but if you wouldn't mind just sending it to me, you know how to get it to me. Get it to me so that I can then go ahead and give that information to the folks over at tomorrow's publication. And again, I've got a link in the description section of the live stream if you're interested in checking those folks out. They do way more. They do a lot more than just Retrofan magazine. And if you're a nerd or a nerd at heart like me, you love everything they do over there. All right, I'm going to take that off the screen for the moment. And remove that. And we will do another drawing in just a little bit, I promise. But first, let me go ahead. Let's talk a little bit, folks. Let's talk. What is your favorite forgotten TV show? So I have done videos about many of my favorites over the years. And when we're all done with the live stream tonight, I'll probably play maybe one on Logan's Run. Definitely one on Man from Atlantis, maybe Flying High. I don't know. I'll do some videos on the shows that I really miss. And you saw images of many of them when we did the quiz earlier. So, but I want to know now, I want to know what your shows are that you miss from the 70s and the 80s. That is super happy fun. Murica says, not sure of the topic, but that's the topic. Forgotten TV shows. Now, if you weren't around in the 70s or the 80s, feel free to share some from the 90s or the early 2000s. We do not discriminate here. We are we love all. And I certainly do love all TV. I just happen to kind of focus on the 70s and the 80s with a lot of my material. So let me scroll up here, and again, the question is, what is your favorite TV show? I want to get to the very top so I don't miss anybody. I see a lot of folks congratulating Pat. Oh, let's see. If you didn't see your name, well, one, it could have gone by super fast. The other thing is you got to make sure you got the full hashtag retrofan in there. But we'll do it. We'll do another drawing as well. So get it in now. Get in hashtag retrofan because it will still be pulling from all of the names that were in the drawing earlier. Let's see. Channel member Superplex says Quark. Yeah, great one. Great one. Let's see. Don Lee says The Hathaways. Now, that is a show that I've completely forgotten. David Rasmussen says Kojak. Not sure it's still fairly well remembered, but with each passing year, it does kind of slips away, these shows, right? Piss and Vinegar says Give Me a Break and The White Shadow. Johnny Farrington says The Smith Family. I remember that one with Henry Fonda and Ron Howard. ABC, maybe early 70s. Ron Howard talks about it in his book, The Boys. He really cherishes that time. Didn't really love making the show, but loved working with Henry Fonda. Oh, Funky For You 42, The Master with Lee Van Cleef. That was good. Yeah, my brother Steve really enjoyed that show. Lamont Bradford says, Baby, I'm Back. Yeah, I vaguely remember that one. Vaguely. Sin City Jim says, Me and the Chimp. Do not remember Me and the Chimp. I have done a video on Jennifer Slept Here. Oh, yes, Making It. Great song, too. I love that song. Another television series from Gary Marshall and team, I believe. Retro Television 1 says James at 15/16, and we just lost Lance Kerwin, right? Not too long ago, unfortunately. Square Pegs, great TV show from the 80s, lasted less than a season, should have gone on, but there was just so much internal strife in that with the cast and crew that maybe mercifully it just came to an end. Pat McCormick says Then Came Bronson. I have never seen an episode of Then Came Bronson. Now, I've heard of it. Oh, and here's one that I remember seeing, but I remember seeing promos for, but I don't know if I ever saw this show, Double Trouble, with Katie Seagal's older sisters, the Seagal twins, Liz, and I can't remember the other one's name right at the moment. Channel member Mike D says Kolchak. Oh, love that show, and I've done videos on that one. Let's see. Blotchy Bear says Too many to mention, but Wizards and Warriors was one of them. Channel member Angela McArdle points out The White Shadow. Oh, Tim Andrews, The Master, or Delta House, which was essentially a spin-off of the Animal House, the movie. We got it made with Terry Copley. Battlestar Galactica, yeah. I don't know if it's forgotten because of the reboot. Now another reboot's coming, but what a great show it was. And certainly to only run a single season, I'm not counting that bastard child of a show, Galactica 1980, as the second season of Battlestar Galactica. So it only ran for one season, and that was a shame. Channel member Superplex says Men Behaving Badly. I've never seen that one. Highcliffe Manor is one I've heard about but never seen. Paul SG Tree says The $6 Million Man. Now, of course, The $6 Million Man ran for, I think, 5 seasons on ABC, and it's still fairly well remembered, but a great show from the 70s for sure. I Do, Dennis Dugan as Richie Brockelman, Private Eye. Yeah, it was a spinoff from the Rockford Files. Great show, only ran for one season on NBC. Yes, I do agree that is one of the best theme songs ever, Two Beer. Pat says Monsters. I don't remember that show, Pat. And I don't remember Phoenix Funky For You 42, unless you're answering the question to something else. Sky King says Johnny Farrington. Gary Carpenter says Addams Family and the Monsters. Kim Illis agrees with an earlier comment about Kolchak. Oh, here's a good one. Get Christy Love, an ABC show that aired mid-70s, ran for a single season. Good stuff. Yes, Tales from the Dark Side. That was an excellent show. It does suck not to see your name. I wish I could make that thing go slower. I don't think it shows every name, even if it is in the drawing. So sorry about that, folks. You just got to trust if you got it in there and you got it in right that you're eligible, and it doesn't show every name. It just doesn't as it spins through. But it is randomly selecting one of those names that is, from the hashtags in the chat. Oh, yeah. Man from Atlantis. Such a great show. I had all the Marvel comic books too. And channel member Blissful says Land of the Lost. Oh, did I love that show. 3 seasons, Saturday morning, NBC. Funky for You 42 points out Manimal was a great show. A Glenn Larson produced show. I loved everything that Glenn Larson did. Crossing the Door says Still Standing, Domestic Life. Channel member Angela McArdle points out Battlestar Galactica again. Oh, I'm glad someone brought up Voyagers with an exclamation point at the end. Yes, such a great show. And we lost John Eric Hexum way too soon. V was a great TV show, although you're mentioning the miniseries there, but V was a great show. Not as good. It was diminishing returns. V, the miniseries, was phenomenal. The Final Battle was okay. The TV series, I watched it, but I could see that it was diminishing returns. Gloria, the spinoff, one of the spinoffs from All in the Family. Here's the thing about Gloria. It had the legendary Burgess Meredith in it, and for that reason alone, was worth watching. Teb says It Takes Two, starring Patty Duke, the late Richard Crenna, Helen Hunt, and Anthony Edwards. It was from Whit Thomas, the same people who did Soap, Benson, and The Golden Girls. You know, I can honestly say I'm aware of it, but I've never seen an episode of It Takes Two. I wonder if there's a way to watch that on some sort of streaming network. I'd like to. Automan, an 80s television show that was on ABC, kind of Tron-inspired a little bit from producer Glenn Larson. Need to take a drink real quick here. Thanks, Lance. Thanks, Kevin. Let's see. The Girl with Something Extra. Who was in that? Was that Marlo Thomas? Pat McCormick says that's incredible. Love that show. Love that show. Very much inspired by real people. David Thomas says he used to watch Quark. Yeah, the Bewitched spinoff. Tabitha ran for 2 seasons in the mid-70s. Really never kind of was able to recapture that magic. Kevin Scott 76 says The Love Boat. Not sure it's forgotten, but it was a great show from the 70s. Double Trouble. Yep, the Seagal Girls. It Takes Two is awesome, says Tim Andrews. The legendary Tim Andrews, I should say. Channel member John Collins says Small Wonder to Maude. A Small Wonder and Maude of the forgotten shows anyway. Yeah. I think Maude is remembered for what it did. It paved the way for a lot of the shows. It was a spinoff of All in the Family, or from All in the Family, and part of the Norman Lear stable of CBS sitcoms during the early 70s. And B. Arthur was phenomenal in that show. But those shows, again, they are becoming forgotten TV shows. And it's one of the reasons I'm so passionate about my channel, is that opportunity to remember these, in some ways, really groundbreaking television shows. Mr. Terrific from the 60s, if I remember Johnny Farrington. Let's see. Scott's getting his second entry in right now, and anyone that wants to, feel free to do so. Charles in Charge, says Lance Chaffin. Oh, I enjoyed The Kids in the Hall. It's more up to date from the 2000s, but good stuff. Buffalo Bill, yes, with Dabney Coleman. Moving On with Claude Akins. Land of the Giants. I've been watching that on MeTV recently. Bad Cats. Didn't that have in it Kim Basinger? I think it did. Open All Night, says Tim Andrews. Penny Keller says Three's Company and Three's a Crowd. Becoming forgotten, but certainly still fondly remembered by me. Longstreet, yes. James Franciscus, blind attorney, right? I'm trying to remember what his profession was in that show. I've only seen clips on YouTube. Stockard Channing did have a show, Gidget from the 80s. White Shadow with Ken Howard. Yes. Arc 2. Yes, Melissa Foster. Great show. I've done a video on that one. Family with Christy McNichol and Gary Frank. Goodnight Beantown. Is that the one with Bill Bixby? Little House on the Prairie. Channel member Lisa Field says Little House on the Prairie and Give Me a Break. Love both of those shows. Crime Story. Says Nick Monas. Pat McCormick. Oh, yeah. Alias Smith and Jones. They had to deal with replacing one of the main characters on that show. I do remember Cade County with Glenn Ford. Barry, that's an awesome one. A Kojak reference there from our buddy David Rasmussen. The Bad News Bears, ABC. Television show, sitcom. Didn't have any. Oh, wait, maybe it had Jackie Earl Haley. I think Jackie Earl Haley played in both the movie and the TV show. My Secret Identity. I don't remember that one. Super Happy Fun Murica says, I want to give you the prize, my friend. You've brought back some very good and fond memories. You guys have brought back some very good and very fond memories. This is a collaborative effort. And for that, I am appreciative. Best of the West. Yeah, that was a good one. Fish, the spinoff from Barney Miller. Street Hawk. Yes, that was great. Out of This World. I'm going to go fast now. Red Dwarf, Ghost Story, Circle of Fear, Hawaiian Heat, Powder Keg, Automan again, Starman. Yeah. Robert Hayes instead of Jeff Bridges. And that 240 Robert, Pamela Hensley. I think she was in that, at least one of the two seasons. Flamingo Road with Morgan Fairchild. Oh, Buck Rogers. Boston Common was a good sitcom in the 90s, and I should have lasted longer than it did. Baby, I'm Back and Making It. The Magician. Oh, so good. Small Wonder, It's Your Move with Jason Bateman. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's see. How far behind? I'm 10 minutes behind. I got to move faster. Manimal. Out of This World, The Magician, The Aquanauts, Alias Smith and Jones, yeah, Pete Duell. What a shame, what a tragedy. Square Pegs, Give Me a Break, That's My Mama, Roomies, Rachel and the 208 love Double Trouble, and so does Tom. Flo, the sequel or the spinoff from The Jeffersons. Spencer with Chad Loam, The Powers of Matthew Starr, Room 222, Nanny and the Professor, He and She, that's a Richard Benjamin show, Manhunter, California Fever, Homefront. Oh, are they the younger twin sisters? Not their older twin sisters. That makes sense. Buck Rogers, Alice, V, Freaks and Geeks. Hey, Josh Sings, good to have you with us. Buck Rogers for sure. We're moving fast. This is the lightning round. Super Train, My World, and Welcome to It. Liz and Jean Segal. Thank you for both of those names. Tales of the Gold Monkey with Stephen Collins. Yeah. Rambo cartoon from the 80s. Silent Service. Superboy. I did an entire live stream dedicated to that show a while back. Greg and Dharma. What's Happening? Black Sheep Squadron. Private Eyes. A.K.A. Pablo. Voyagers, yeah, love that show. New Leave It to Beaver, that was actually quite beloved and lasted a while. It was on two networks, TBS and Disney. Richie Brockman, It's Not Easy. Sea Hunt, Guns of Will Sonnet. Time Tunnel, Otherworld. The Green Hornet, The Californians. Let's see, He-Man and She-Ra. Time Tunnel, Space 1999. That's one of Danny's comic book reviews lately. If you go check out Danny Staten's channel, he's got a comic book review up on Space 1999. The High Chaparral, Blotchy Bear, says family. Yeah, really received a lot of awards and was recognized for being a quality television program. Batman, one of my favorite. Green Hornet, The Snoop Sisters, Madeline Kahn sitcom, Voyagers, UFO. That show gave me nightmares. From the team that gave us Space 1999. And Thunderbirds, Gary Anderson. The Hitchhiker, Matt Houston. Oh, Superboy would be great to have a comeback. My Living Doll, UFO, The Yellow Rose, Hardcastle McCormick, Project UFO from Jack Webb, Arc 2, Switch. Let's see. Oh, this left at Albuquerque. This question was asked earlier. Where can you find a good old portable mini speakers that can use 4D cell batteries and be Y-patched to a Sony Discman or anything with a mini earphone jack? That's a great question because everything's Bluetooth these days. You know, your best bet is Amazon. I bet you there's something out there on Amazon. If you're not comfortable using Amazon, I'd start looking at thrift stores. That's where I go for some of that stuff. The New People, The Immortal, Black's Magic, It Takes a Thief, anything by Filmation. Rachel in the 208 loved Voyagers. Tarzan, Herman's Head, Raising Hope, The Dukes of Hazzard, Space 1999 is on Danny Staten's mind. Angie, The Highwayman. Carter Country with Victor French. What a great show that was. Angie, I love that show and should have lasted longer. The Saint. Highlander was a great show. And I think it ran for 3 or 4 seasons. Angie, what a wonderful theme song that was. Electra Woman and Dinah Girl, speaking of another great theme song. Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo. Folks, I'm never going to get through this list. We're going to stop right here. Wow. How good was that? How cool was that? I encourage folks to go back and look at all the others in the chat and all the comments. I know that I'm going to have a blast, have an absolute blast rewatching this live stream later and reading all of the comments in the chat because you know what? The chat just adds just this element to it. It's almost like something was 2D and then you make it 3D with the chat. That's a bad analogy, but it's the best I can come up with right now why I think the chat is just so wonderful and such an integral part of any live stream. All right, it's time. Drawing number 2. What are we drawing for? Well, if you're late to the game, we're drawing for another issue of Retro Fan magazine. Let me take that what was your favorite show off the screen there so we can see the full magazine. I don't know if we're giving away issue number 26, which is the May 2023 issue, or 2020, or issue number 27, which is the May 2020 or the July 2023. Too many numbers going on, folks. Anyway, it's either issue number 26 or 27, depending on what they have left. If they still have issue number 26, they'll probably ship that out. If they don't, they'll wait. And that's why, John Collins, you had a bit of a delay in the shipment of your magazine because they were waiting to get the magazine back from the printers so that they could send them out to everybody. Now, I have a little bit of a secret, folks. I enjoy the digital version of the magazine, and you can buy the printed version for $10.95, or you can buy the digital version for a few bucks less. And I just like it because I can zoom in. My poor eyes, they enjoy zooming in on a computer screen so they can read the tiny print and really enjoy the pictures. So anyway, that's what we're giving away. Put hashtag RetroFan into the chat right now. Let me put a timer up. There's our first winner. And let me go over to that screen. I don't know if I click on this draw again button, if it draws again immediately. So I don't want to do that yet. I want to give everybody, I'm going to give 30 seconds. Let me put the timer on. I'm going to settle on back. We're going to have 25 seconds of, well, it won't be quite 25 seconds, but a moment of uncomfortable silence while I enjoy my Diet Coke, subsidized tonight by my friends Lance Chaffin and Kevin Connor. Now, there were some other super chats that I saw and I've missed, and I will get to them right after this drawing. Okay, let's draw, folks. Again, you may not see your name in here. It doesn't show all the names. It just can't. All right, we got 48 entries, though. I do see 48 different people in here. I'm going to click this draw again button, and let's see what happens. And our winner is Tracy Rothmeyers. Congratulations, Tracy Rothmeyers. Channel member Tracy Rothmeyers, I should say. So great to see you win in the drawing tonight, and congratulations to you. Tracy, have you won before? Even if you have, I'm not sure. I'm just trying to remember if I have your address on file. I really don't keep those things. What it means is that I have the original email that you sent me. But yeah, I don't think you have one. So let me go ahead and put my email address up for you to just scribble down quickly. And if you don't have a pen and paper handy, I just recommend pausing right now, and so that you have that email address up, and just write it down and then send me all your details. I know you're in Florida. Did you say Tallahassee? We'll get a copy of Retro Fan out to you. If it's 26, you'll get it quickly. If it's 27, it's not going to be for a month or two, but it'll come. The one thing that I've discovered with my friends over at Tomorrow's Publishing is that they're reliable. All right, taking this off the screen. Taking this off the screen as well. Congratulations again to both Pat McCormick and channel member Tracy Roth-Myers here. Well, everybody's wonderful. I was going to say you're both wonderful, but everybody's wonderful. Now, speaking of wonderful, let's go to this. Here's a super chat from Sparky who says, that show with Diane Carroll as a widow raising her son. What was that show called? Carroll TV show. Julia. Julia, you're talking about Julia. Yeah, I saw a couple episodes of that. Well, thank you so much for the super chat. That was very kind and generous of you, and I appreciate the support. And because of that, I think I'm going to bring my friend Spider-Man in to, well, pass on my thanks.
Someone is trying to embarrass me.
Thanks for your support, Sparky. Truly appreciated. Let me scroll down here. I'm pretty sure I had another super chat as well. I'll leave that one on the screen while I scroll down and try to find the other one. If I can't find it here, there's just so much here. I may have to, nope, there it is. From Necron99, aka Sammy Boy, says, you have merch? Heck yeah, I have merch. I have t-shirts. I have coffee cups. I have tumblers. And if you go to any of my videos, if you look just below the video, there's a little drawer there that has links to all of those things. And man, I appreciate the support that way too. I really need to. That's something that I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about. This was a suggestion from channel member John Collins, creating a new tier in the channel membership where it'll either be heavily discounted merch or a couple times a year free merch to those people that are members of that. But hasn't happened yet, and it's still in the kind of, I'm still canoodling that idea. Is that a word, canoodle? Noodling it about my old noggin. But thank you so much for the super chat. That was very kind of you, Necron99. You seem like an Ed Grimley kind of guy. Well, we almost got a double dose of Ed there. Let's go ahead and go back here. Let's see. I think that's it for super chats. Let me go ahead and take that one off the screen. Let me just scroll down and make sure that I didn't miss anybody. Oh, this wasn't a TV series, but I really did enjoy the show The Girl, the Gold Watch and everything. Didn't star Jeff Goldblum, starred, well, at least the miniseries that I'm thinking of, not even a miniseries, it was a TV movie, was with Robert Hayes. There's another one that we watched as a family in our house, 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. Scott Barnes says that he loved 10 Speed and Brown Shoe. Yeah, you seem like a 10 Speed and Brown Shoe kind of guy, Scott. Did Emily say anything in here? I'm curious what her forgotten TV shows are, because she's from, of course, a new generation. Slightly younger than you and I. 88th Precinct with Adam West. I don't remember that show at all. Mike Brown, Love American Style. Interesting. That's a great show. Another Gary Marshall show. Logan's Run. Yeah, Logan's Run. Gregory Harrison, Heather Menzies. Really great show. I'm just kind of scrolling through fast, making sure that I didn't miss anybody that dropped a super chat. Because that would just break my heart. You know, someone shows support that way, and then I forget to show it on the screen. So I see a lot of folks congratulating Tracy. That's where I am right now as I'm scrolling through all of these comments. Lance Chaffin's leaving us. Have a nice night, Lance. Oh, see, I missed somebody here. Lars Land says, what's your go-to, Dave? Mine is Three's Company. I love Three's Company, so we have that in common. And I love John Ritter. As a matter of fact, the entire cast is great, but John Ritter to me is just one of those special kind of actors. A really funny feller. And then, of course, when they added Don Knotts in, that's my go-to, is the Andy Griffith Show, and primarily the first 5 seasons of the Andy Griffith Show, the black and white seasons, because I think Don Knotts is perhaps the funniest person in the world. At least he was. Let me find a way to say thank you to you as well. How about this?
And now it's time for a little dance, and here we go.
Thank you, Lars Land. Truly appreciated. Let me keep scrolling, make sure I don't miss anybody else. I see folks saying good night. Live stream will be 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday. Again, that's the channel members live stream. If you are a super fan or a super friend of the channel, it will be so awesome to have you join me. Sakina McMurran, you are awesome. Right back at you. Let's see. Yes, Pat, you are the man as well. Look for an invite to Retropalooza 3. Louis number 3 for us soon. Let's see. I think we might have hit them all. Emily Miller, channel member. Emily Miller says good night and sweet dreams, ya all. The last percent? Is that what it was? I still don't remember it. I would have thought I would remember everything with Adam West in it. George M. says 8 Simple Rules, another great TV show. Yes, don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks for the reminder there, Emily. Good night, Barry King. Penny Keller, thank you so much for your kind words. I'm caught up. Okay. Well, here's the deal, folks. It's been fun. I have really enjoyed talking with you about some of my favorite lost TV shows, forgotten TV shows, and I've enjoyed hearing some of yours and being, that spark of memory when you put in a show that I haven't thought about in decades. That's so much fun to have that happen. Here's another one. Speaking of a spark of memory, super chat from Sparky coming in saying, heck, Ramsey with Richard Boone. That was ABC, wasn't it? Wasn't that ABC? Mid-70s show. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, no, heck, Ramsey was part of the NBC mystery movie thing. That ongoing rotation of movies. I remember that well. Do you remember the mystery movie theme music? That was some good theme music. All right, Sparky, let me find something else to serve up here. What do we haven't played Andy in a while.
Thank you very much.
What a comic genius that guy was. Thank you so much, Sparky. Truly appreciate that. All right. You rock. You all rock. It's just, these are the highlights of my week when I'm able to do them. I have unretired, so I've been back to work, and it's made my life certainly more hectic recently and harder to do these things every week. But when I do, I feel invigorated and just ready to go out and make more videos. So you guys, thank you to all of you for that. A reminder, just a quick reminder that tomorrow I will be posting this video, publishing it for all to watch, and hopefully you enjoy it. It's been available for my channel members to preview since earlier today. gave them a 24-hour window to give me some feedback and let me know what they think, and then I'll publish it tomorrow to YouTube. So hopefully everybody will get a chance to watch that. And those of you that are channel members, this Sunday, 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll be having our exclusive channel member live stream. If you're interested in becoming a channel member, you can do so for as little as 99 cents. However, the live stream is a feature that's offered to channel members that are known as super fans or super friends. You can do that for as little as $2 a month. Love to have you with us on Sunday. It certainly is an elite and exclusive crew of people that show up with those channel member live streams. All right. Well, there is no better way. It's time to shove off. So here's what I'm going to do. I've got a couple videos, a handful. Well, I said couple. I think there's 3 full-fledged videos about forgotten TV shows that I'm going to play after I'm done here. And maybe some vintage commercials, you know, just some fun stuff like that. So if you want to stick around and visit, I'm going to keep this this live stream going. I just will be behind the curtain, if you will. But before I do that, I do want to just express my appreciation to all of you. You're all great. And I found that while I can, I try to find the right words to say, no one says how I feel about all of you better than the one and only Fred Rogers.
You are special.
You guys truly are special. Thank you so much for joining me tonight, and I look forward to future live streams. And I really look forward to going back and reading everybody's comments in the chat. It was a super busy chat tonight, and I know I'm just going to love that. Here are those videos. Again, folks, have a great remainder of the week, and take care. And don't forget, you truly are, each one of you, appreciated. All right, let's do this.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, Mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too. Mounds got deep dark chocolate and chewy coconut. Ooh. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Peter Paul, Almond Joy's got nuts, Peter Paul, Mounds don't. Because sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
There's nothing quite like them on television. The Bradfords, not your typical family of 8 children.
I don't wear nightgowns anymore, Daddy.
They'll make you laugh 1 minute.
I forgot to kiss you goodnight.
And cry the next. Just like your own family. 8 is enough right after Happy Days in Laverne and Shirley. Saturday, the fun starts when Nancy meets Francie, Sunshine's mom.
Actually, we live a very quiet life here. Oh, and what do you call this? Bad timing.
Then there's a fire at the fishes.
The empty house 2 doors down, it's on fire.
Could Victor be a firebug?
These children are under my supervision.
Go fish!
And Starsky and Hutch are set up by the mob. Right after Blansky's Beauties and Fish.
I found a recipe you won't find in a cookbook, but it's sure nutritious and a real money saver, too. Take a quart of Carnation Instant Non-Fat Dry Milk. Add a quart of whole milk. Mix, chill, and serve. You get 2 quarts of fresh-tasting, low-fat milk and make a real savings on your milk bill. Carnation Instant Milk. Good for you and your budget, too.
When can I pick up the pictures? Thursday. This Thursday. Okay, let me make a note of that.
You gonna write it down there?
Well, it's going to.
Well, then let's say Tuesday.
You mean 2 days earlier?
No, 5 days
later. I thought as much.
If this customer were at a Photomat store, we'd be introducing him to our brand new picture pickup promise. Photomat's way of telling you exactly when your pictures will be ready.
That quick?
Sure, and if it doesn't work out, you get a free roll of film.
Oh, no. You get in trouble for
it's
that.
no problem.
Huh?
It's a Photomat policy.
The Photomat picture pickup promise.
Is there a Photomat store around here?
Hi, I'm Sandy Duncan, and like most everybody, I am a snack lover. In fact, right now, I love some Wheat Thins. Wheat Thins taste really good, and they're full of natural whole wheat. So they make a terrific snack, Right out of the box, or you could put something on top. Look, when you're having a snack, why not have something really good? Wheat Thins. They call them the light little cracker with the big wheat taste. From Nabisco. Love them.
It's not too sweet. It's refreshing, crisp and neat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet. It's not too sweet. I repeat, it's not too sweet. Canada Dry cools your thirst. It's a taste that can't be beat.
It's not too sweet. It's a cold, refreshing treat. Canada Dry Ginger Ale. It's not too sweet.
Regular or diet, it's more refreshing because it's not too sweet.
What's this stuff? Some cereal. It's supposed to be good for you. Did you try it? I'm not going to try it. You try it. I'm not going to try it. Let's get Mikey. Yeah. He won't eat it. He hates everything. He likes it. Hey, Mikey.
When you bring life home, don't tell the kids it's one of those nutritional cereals you've been trying to get them to eat. You're the only one who has to know.
"1977 was a pretty darn awesome year. It was the year that the very first Star Wars movie came out, and Spider-Man had finally gotten some primetime love over on CBS. And on NBC we had this show, The Man from Atlantis, starring actor Patrick Duffy. NBC introduced us to the character slowly. During the year there were 4 TV movies, the first one being the best. And then finally, at long last, there was the series which debuted in the fall of '77. Of course, I was not the kind of person who needed a slow drip. I was already a big fan of another Atlantean. This guy, Aquaman, one of the Super Friends. To me, Mark Harris, the Man from Atlantis, just seemed like a slightly more realistic version of Aquaman. Mark's origins were a little more mysterious, though. He just washed up on a beach, no memories of his past, but a willingness to learn from his newly found scientist friends. Belinda Montgomery played his closest friend, Dr. Elizabeth Merrill. She had been the one to care for him when he was found. She'd nursed him back to full health, and Mark felt a great deal of gratitude toward her for everything that she had done. He also recognized that Elizabeth might be, in a roundabout kind of way, the key to unlocking his past. The movies were very well received, not only by teenage science fiction geeks and nerds such as myself, but also by the general public. And as such, NBC moved forward with the TV series. The network execs hoped that the series would be as successful, if not more so, than the movies. And a large portion of those hopes were pinned upon the broad shoulders of actor Patrick Duffy. Network executives recognized this actor's charisma and charm, and they hoped to leverage it to turn The Man from Atlantis into a ratings blockbuster. Way back then, Duffy wasn't a household name, however. This was before he was Bobby Ewing, dreaming away entire seasons of Dallas on CBS, and it was also before he hooked up with Suzanne Summers for some heartwarming TGIF fun on the Brady Bunch knockoff Step by Step. Yep, it was before all that. And in addition to Duffy, the network executives were also hoping that occasional appearances by this guy, the amazing, wonderful, always delightful Victor Buono, King Tut himself, would seal the deal and ensure that The Man from Atlantis would be around for years to come. It also didn't hurt that there was tons of merch everywhere you turned. There was the novelization by Richard Woolley, which spanned a series of novels by the same author, and the Marvel comic book series. Yes, I had them all. And there was the holy grail of merchandise. That wonderful metal school lunchbox. If you have one of these now, and it's in decent condition, it will fetch a pretty penny on eBay. Despite all of the great cast and the wonderful merchandising tie-ins, something happened. The show just kinda lost steam. So much so that Belinda Montgomery left the show by episode 12. She was replaced by actress Lisa Blake Richards. And one episode later, there was no female lead at all. Not even the amazing Jean Marie Hahn, fresh off of her stint on Arc 2, could save The Man from Atlantis. After 13 episodes, NBC canceled the show due to ratings that had been pretty lackluster throughout the show's entire run. Thankfully, though, that isn't the end of the story of Mark Harris. In 2016, Patrick Duffy published his own novel in an attempt to fill in the missing pieces of Mark Harris's life. From the reviews that I've read, the book is apparently quite good, as Duffy not only fleshes out Mark's backstory, but also tackles the mystery of his entire Atlantean race. You know, I think it's pretty cool that Duffy cared that much about this character to take matters into his own hands. I've ordered the novel, and at some point in the future I'll review the book. I'll also place a link to purchase the book in the description section of this video if you're interested in picking it up for yourself. So that's it. One last picture, and I'm going to go with that lunchbox again. How cool is that thing? Man, I wish I had one of those when I was a kid. Oh, who am I kidding? I want one now. Alright, now it's your turn. Were you a fan of the man from Atlantis? Or actor Patrick Duffy? Please share your memories in the comments section, and while you're at it, I'd love a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Maybe even share it on Facebook or Twitter, and I would be honored if you would consider subscribing to my channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Ladies and gentlemen, we challenged hotshot Dick Tchaikovsky to play the Mattel Electronics football game. Dick doesn't know, inside is a tiny thinking computer that plays like a whole team of pros. Dick's got the ball, but that computer defense is tough. He drives up the middle, stopped cold. 1 yard. Now Dick cuts left, down the sidelines, touchdown. Mattel Electronics Pocket Football with a built-in computer.
Hey, who's in there?
It's fun in the sky on Flying High when the girls take it off. And Pam has a great layover.
You know what? I don't think either one of us is going to get much sleep tonight.
Climb aboard a wild flight with the girls from Flying High. Next.
This is CBS.
Does anyone else remember a short-lived television show on CBS called Flying High? When this series was originally broadcast, I had never stepped foot on an airplane, but I really wanted to believe that this was exactly how stewardesses, flight attendants, really were. So what was Flying High all about? Well, the Wikipedia summary for the very first episode of this program does a great job of providing some context. It says 3 attractive young women, Marcy, Pam, and Lisa, succeed in qualifying for airline stewardess training and become fast friends as they manage to complete the tough course at SunWest Airlines Training Center based in Los Angeles, and then start getting a taste of the rigors and fun of the real thing as rookie stewardesses, as well as getting the attention of womanizing Captain Doug March. This show was definitely inspired by the success of ABC's The Love Boat. Like that show, it had high-profile guest stars on the program, each with their own stories. Also, as was the case with The Love Boat, this 60-minute program came with a laugh track that at times seemed oddly out of place. All told, 18 episodes of the show were produced before CBS canceled it. And of those 18 shows, only 15 of them were aired by the network. It is too bad that CBS didn't allow Flying High more time to really figure out what it wanted to be, but ratings weren't great and execs at the network simply didn't have the patience. After the show ended, these 3 actors didn't exactly disappear. Probably the most successful of the bunch was Connie Selica, who rebounded quite quickly with a couple of hit TV shows during the 80s over on competing network ABC. I am, of course, talking about The Greatest American Hero and Hotel. Pat Klaus also jumped networks, again over to ABC, joining the cast of a television show that we've already talked about in this video. I'm talking about The Love Boat, where she played cruise director Judy McCoy, the sister of Julie. Hey, there's Ted McGinley as well. I love that dude. He was so good as Jefferson in Married with Children. After Flying High, Catherine Witt never really found steady work as a regular cast member on a television series again. That said, she has made many guest star appearances on TV shows over the years, and I absolutely have to mention The Role of a Lifetime, her co-starring gig with former Duke boy John Schneider in the 1985 feature film Cocaine Wars. And as long as I'm providing updates, we might as well talk about Howard Platt, who played Captain March. A couple of years after the cancellation of Flying High, sharp-eyed television viewers would have seen Howard over on NBC. Howard made multiple appearances on the Red Fox sitcom Sanford, once again playing Officer Hoppy Hopkins, a character from the classic TV sitcom Sanford and Son. Talk about stunning. Pat, Connie, and Catherine were all recruited from top New York modeling agencies. While casting the show, the producers they had a specific plan to find 3 very attractive female models with or without acting experience. And it turned out to be a very good idea because even before CBS agreed to carry the program, the network's head of sales ran into the producer of Flying High with his 3 stars in tow, and afterward, he immediately made a call to the head of programming, telling him that CBS needed that show, whatever the heck it was. Alright, now it's your turn. Please share your memories in the comments section, and while you're at it, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Maybe even consider subscribing to the channel. I talk about music, movies, and mostly TV from decades gone by. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.
Hey, watch this.
Lifesavers Roll Candy takes Suzanne Summers back home.
I did that better when I was a kid here in San Bruno, California, because my dad would give me cherry Lifesavers for every cartwheel. So I did lots of them, because I'd do anything for Lifesavers candy and Dad. You see, good Lifesavers, they're like coming home again to San Bruno. I still love them both.
Quark. Lots of folks don't remember this show, but based on the number of requests that I get to do something on it, I'd say that there are, at the very least, a handful of people who do. Starring Richard Benjamin, the premise of the show, which was created by Get Smart's Buck Henry, is fairly simple. Benjamin is Adam Quark. He's the captain of a United Galaxy Sanitation Patrol cruiser, an interstellar garbage scow that goes around collecting space baggies. Of course, along the way, Quark and crew have all sorts of crazy adventures, only semi-related to their primary mission. You know, I'd always felt like Quark was part of the wave of TV science fiction shows that followed George Lucas's original Star Wars film. But in reality, Quark predates Star Wars by about 3 weeks. The first episode of Quark aired in early May 1977, and of course, Star Wars didn't hit theaters until the end of that same month. After the first episode aired, there would be no additional episodes until February of the following year, so it is possible that the executives at NBC were just burning off an unsold pilot with that first broadcast, and then once Star Wars became the worldwide phenomenon that it was, they made the decision to greenlight the show. Now, I don't know if that happened or not. It's just a bit of speculation on my part. So Quark's crew was a pretty interesting cast of characters. You had the 2 Bettys. One of them was a clone, but neither of them knew which was which. More on them in a moment. You also had Gene, who was a transmute, meaning that he had the chromosomes of both genders. And then there was Ficus, who although he had a human form was plant-based, which allowed him to regrow body parts if one was lost. He was kinda like this show's Spock. Conrad Janis, the future father of Mindy O'Connell, rounded up the crew as Otto Palindrome, the commander who Quark receives his assignments from. Well, Quark actually got most of his assignments from this guy, the head. But Palindrome served as the intermediary, providing additional context about each crappy assignment given to Quark and his crew. Alright, so I mentioned the Bettys earlier. If I had to say that there was one thing that I remember vividly about Quark, it would have to be them. Played by the Barnstable twins, who had risen to fame primarily as the Doublemint twins during the 70s, the Bettys were the reason that Quark wasn't on Saturday mornings, which I believe had been considered by NBC before opting to give it a primetime evening slot. Both of the Bettys were in love with Quark, but of course, Quark only loved the one that wasn't a clone. Now, if they could only figure out which one was which. Now, there are obvious reasons why I was a fan of the Bettys, but I've got to say that by the time the late 70s rolled around, I was all in on the idea of clones. Any movie, TV or theatrical that had anything to do with clones, well, I was there. including its 1977 premiere, Quark ran for 8 brief episodes and was canceled by the network just 2 months after the show began appearing on a weekly basis. It's really too bad because the humor of the show was very reminiscent of Henry's earlier work on Get Smart. One can't help but feel that if the show had been given a chance to build an audience, that it could have been a ratings success for NBC. That said, if it had run longer, it would have likely had to have done so without the actor who played Ficus, Richard Kelton. Kelton died of an accidental carbon monoxide poisoning on November 27, 1978, just a few months after the series was canceled. So it feels only right to jump into public service announcement mode here and encourage everyone to make sure that they have a carbon monoxide detector on every floor of their home. They just aren't that much money anymore, usually somewhere between $20 and $30 depending on whether it's also a smoke detector like the one that I've got pictured here. I'll post a link to one that I like on Amazon in the description section of this video. One more thought. I've got to believe that someone involved in the creation and development of Deep Space Nine had a soft spot for our little TV show that we're discussing here today, because that's the name that they bestowed upon that lovable scallywag of a Ferengi traitor that was a semi-regular on that show. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. After all, a quark is a generic scientific term referring to any of a number of subatomic particles carrying a fractional electrical charge. Still, in my mind, I'd like to think that it was a tip of the hat to a show that was in itself a tip of the hat to the original Star Trek series starring William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and DeForest Kelley. Alright, one more pick. This time, one without the Bettys. It's kind of hard to find one, but this is a good one. After all, there really is no place like space. Alright, now it's your turn. Were you a fan of Quark? Leave your memories in the comments section below, and if you enjoyed the video, please click on the like button and share with your friends and family on Facebook and Twitter. While you're at it, why not subscribe to my little channel? I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. In fact, there are a couple of other really good videos right here that you can click on and enjoy right now. Go ahead, I won't mind. I'm wrapping up here anyway. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.